This program is fan-generated. If you'd like to support us, please go to jamieglazov.com. And also, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. All your supports are greatly appreciated.
Good evening. Welcome to the Jamie Glazov Moment. And tonight, how leftists hate Muslims. I want to spend a couple minutes extending on my previous two segments and get into the subject of how the left stands on the issue of human rights in terms of this issue. I've been talking about the importance of loving the Muslim people, but identifying the ideology. And I've been giving quite a bit of thought to over the years, and something I want to say tonight about who really hates Muslims. And, because the left often, throws these slanders around in terms of the people that are fighting against jihad and actually on behalf of Muslim people who are the victims of Sharia and often of jihad as well. And I just wanted to share two quick stories out of my past and something I've been reflecting on a lot that's crucial to this debate and this dialogue on Islam and on who really has love in their heart and towards who. I was in academia for many, many years, and I remember one time sitting in a graduate student lounge, and there was a feminist, quote-unquote feminist scholar sitting at a table with me, and she was on the brink of tears about how oppressed women are in the West. And she was so oppressed that she had to wear a bikini on the beach. And women have to wear bikinis. And this is the way that capitalism marginalizes women and pushes us into spheres of powerlessness. And this is the way that it decapitates women, because capitalism makes you think that you want Pepsi. But if you don't choose Pepsi, then you're not cool. And this is how capitalism disempowers consumers and women. I mean, this just went on for about an hour. But there was an overall obsessiveness, obsession with the oppression of women in terms of physique and how they look and how the media exploits women, and you know that whole theme. And I remember afterwards, even though I disagree on several levels in terms of her interpretation of what capitalism does, I remember I said to her, I'm so happy that you're concerned with the oppression of women in general, because we're on the same page, maybe not these specific issues, but I'm involved in bringing attention to the 6,000 girls a day in the Muslim world that are the victims of female genital mutilation because of Islamic theology. I'm concerned about the victims of acid attacks, the victims of honor killings, of forced veiling, of forced marriage. And this is all happening to Muslim women and Muslim girls under Islam. Could you sign a petition and get involved with me and my people in what we're trying to do on behalf of Muslim women under Islam? And I remember she had turned ashen white, and she said to me, "Are you a fascist?" And I remember that day when I went home, I was reflecting on it, and I was thinking, I'm the fascist, I'm the racist, but I'm the one that's involved with people that are trying to save the next potential victim of Islamic female genital mutilation, the next victim of an honor killing, the next victim of a forced marriage, etc., etc. What is this woman doing? In terms of her attitude, in terms of everything, what does she do to actually help Muslim people and Muslim women suffering under Islamic gender apartheid? And the answer is nothing. And what I want to say here, and I've been thinking about this for years, because somewhere they point the finger at me. They point the finger at Robert Spencer. They point the finger at people like Nani Darwish. So many heroes that are fighting against jihad, but also on behalf of the Muslim people. But they are actually the ones that are heartless and that actually deep down have disdain and contempt for all people, and including Muslim people, because they don't lift a finger to help them while they're calling us names. And I think about Dostoevsky in Brothers Karamazov that my parents introduced to me as a young child. And I remember that there's a section in there where Dostoevsky talks about the socialist revolutionaries, how they loved humanity from a distance, but hated people up close. And that's who leftists are. And I just want to say that that memory of mine, you can multiply 1,000,000 times. There was another leftist academic in Canada that I sometimes went on TV with and debated. And I remember between a commercial, etc., I had said something about the oppression of women under Islam, and I had mentioned female genital mutilation. And he laughed at me and said, "Oh, Glazov, not all Muslims do that." And then he howled and he laughed. And I was such a ridiculous clown to him. And he always laughed about this, and I've been laughed at by the left in terms of this issue, about how not all Muslims do that, and what a moron Glazov is for thinking that all Muslims do that. But the answer is that I don't believe that all Muslims do that. And the issue is not that all Muslims do that. This is a straw man. And I remember one particular evening where he ridiculed me. I went home and I thought, he's going to have a really good sleep tonight, and his attitude does absolutely nothing to something that I'm worried about. And something that I'm worried about, and many of us are worried about, is what's happening, for instance, to Egyptian girls in Egypt in terms of female genital mutilation. And it's happening to more than 80% of them. It's happening in the United Kingdom. It's happening in America. It's happening in many places where Muslims practice this because it's in the Hadith and telling them that they need to do this. And I think of that guy that laughed at me, leftist academic, but I will say that he represents to me the people who pretend that they care about people, but in the end, they're the greatest betrayers of those people. And in the end, when it comes to the Muslim people, never have I met people who have so much disdain and contempt for the Muslim people as do leftists. And that's the Jamie Glazov moment tonight. Join me next week. Good night.